magnitude of this game will have lasting, the next 3, 4, 5, until maybe you get an opportunity against a Georgetown a few weeks from now?
I'll be honest with you. Winning is hard, and I don't care if you're playing Austin Peay, Western Kentucky, Lipscomb, Christian Brothers, it doesn't matter, or Kansas. Winning's hard. So I have not treated this game any differently at all. Tiger Nation might have looked at the game differently, but the way we prepared, the way we've gone about our business was no different than any other game this year. I will not get too high with one game or too low with another. We have to stay even keel. When games become where they're must-win situations, are conference tournaments and postseason play. Those are must-win situations. Those are the biggest games, and that's how we look at it. Because for us, you can go ahead and beat Kansas, but if you have a slip-up against Arkansas State, you can't afford slip-ups. That's just the bottom line. So whether we take an L, it doesn't matter if it's against the RPI 1 team or the RPI 350 team. We need to try to win every single game, and we don't want any slip-ups. We had a slip-up on last night, and now we've got to get back on a win streak.
You can want to say that, but you have a young team, and they know the difference.
Well,
so how do you make sure that they realize that the season isn't made by Kansas, Georgetown, Gonzaga, Tennessee?
Mike, the guys know that I'm not a psychologist. I don't try to pull any mind games. I'm very honest about it, and all I can do, as everyone here knows, I repeat myself over and over. And if you haven't already known, you'll get to know me more as you get to know me. I repeat myself. And I do it with the players. I repeat my message constantly, multiple times a day about every possession is so important. Not every opponent is you have to respect, but it's never about the opponent. It's about us, and that's the message that we continue to get to our guys, educate our guys about.
Wesley had a tweet last night saying that you won't see a harder working guy in D1 basketball from here on out. Kind of the Tim Tebow sort of statement. What are your thoughts on his play and what did you talk with him about after the game?
I love Wesley Witherspoon. That guy's he is a fine young man, fine student athlete, and this city's fortunate to have him here. But I'll be honest with you, I don't give any rear end any care about a tweet and or anything else, because it's about actions. So I don't want to hear for tweets, that's fine, but it's about action. So I was going to use the word a rat's rear end, but I don't know if that was politically correct or anything. I don't want anyone to be upset if I'm making fun of a rat. But anyway, that was a joke, everybody. That's as close as you'll get me to use a curse word in all your time here. I will say darn it and dang it and Jiminy Christmas, but anyway.
But can you win without Spoon becoming the player?
No. We're not going to be the team that we need to be if he doesn't produce. Now, that being said, if we've also played pretty well we've won when he hasn't played well as well too. You look at Western Kentucky, Arkansas State. We were fortunate, and he did not play well those games.
Big games.
But the big games he's got to play. Now, if something happens and he doesn't play, that's why I believe we're good enough that we still should be able to win whether he plays well or not. My thing with Wesley is we need him to step up, and he knows it. I'm not saying anything that he and I haven't talked about. He knows it. We're counting on him. We're counting on him, and he's good enough. He is a really, really good player. But it just comes down to production, and it comes down to making plays, and he knows that, and he understands that.
What was going on defensively yesterday? You've been so good in the game prior, and then yesterday, it seemed like guys just weren't in it.
No, well, I'll say this, Jason. We did force him to 22 turnovers. I felt that what I was saying earlier is that we allowed our missed shots, like I was telling you last night, all the short bunnies that we missed, all the just the point blank layups or the wide open threes. We allowed that to affect us defensively, because what we try to do is then we would be on the defensive end after you watch the tape, and all of a sudden we want to be trying to make some heroic defensive play to try to get it back, and it doesn't work like that. And that's where it comes back to understanding that you can't press. When I say press, you can't. All of a sudden I've got to do something that's not part of the system, and that's just part of a learning curve that we will continue to get better at.
You have such a layoff now, Josh. challenge. And a lot of times when you lose a game, especially like this one, man, let's just get back at it. Let's get back out there. But now I know you have a lot of scholastic things to take care of with exams. Is it a good thing or a bad thing that you're not playing for 9 days?
If it was up to me, I like to play every single day. You know, so I wish the NCAA allowed you to have an 82-game schedule like the NBA does, but probably wouldn't be beneficial with the academics. So I understand why there is a limit, why the max you can only play is 40. For us, anytime you come off a game that you didn't win, you want to get right back on the court and try to get back with a W, especially for the head coach, because you feel better and you feel much better after a win. But this gives us this actually, to be honest with you, Mike, this comes at a good time because based on last night's game, it really exposed a couple things that we really have to spend time to work on, and this gives us multiple practice days, maybe even 2-a-days if there needs to be, based on around obviously exam schedules, that we can get some things done, put in place, and be ready for Austin Peay next Thursday.
What have you pinpointed, as you mentioned now,